How are my favorite girls in the world doing? I am so excited to be here for another episode, and listen up, okay? First of all, first and foremost, this is 2026 we're talking about. This is your new chance of the year of your life so far. This gets to be the year where you truly have the biggest breakthrough of your life, where you start embodying the next level energy type of you, the main character you that you've always wanted to be. You get to embody that energy already. It doesn't mean that you have to be at the end of the journey to feel accomplished. But a lot of the times when you are feeling frustrated about your reality, it's not because you haven't achieved your goals. It's not because you don't have everything that you want. It's because the energy that you are embodying, the way you are living your life on a daily basis is actually not in accordance to who you want to be, how you want to show up, and in alignment with those desires. Like a lot of the times that frustration comes from a reflection of our own knowing that we are not what we're meant to be. But it's not about these external circumstances, and it's not about the results that we want to get. Of course, that our ego might get attached to that, but the truth of that feeling of I'm not where I'm supposed to be isn't about external things, and it's actually about your internal embodiment and who you are choosing to be, how you are committing to your desires and to your dream reality, right? So I really want this to be kind of a really like wake up call, like an inspiring, like put your ass on fire type of episode where it really gets you fucking moving, okay? If you've been feeling stagnant since the year started, if you're just like finding yourself spiraling over and over again, or you just feel like things aren't moving, you just feel like frustrated with where you are and you're upset and you don't know why, and you just keep waiting for the universe to like give you these signs and give you like, give you direction and like give you guidance, like where am I supposed to go next, like what am I supposed to do, and you try something and then you're like, oh, this is not working out, maybe it's not the right time, maybe it's not this, maybe like I got it wrong. You need to stop bullshitting yourself. I was finding myself in that same trap last year, 2025, and it was only making me feel more powerless, smaller, and ultimately I wasn't tapping into my fucking truth. And this is why I need to talk about it, because you cannot put your fate at the hands of the universe. I'm sorry. That is not how this works. Right? Like the universe isn't the boss of you. You are the boss of you. You control your fate. You control your destiny. You choose. The universe doesn't decide for you. There's no predestined path that you're meant to take. There's only the path that is the most aligned with your truth and your desires. And the universe 100% wants you to follow that path, but the universe is not going to tell you like, oh, this is what you want. No, the universe is only going to be a reflection of how you're showing up. You need to be the embodiment of what you want. You need to follow that. That needs to be your inner compass, not this thing that you are like, oh, I'm going to try this thing, but it doesn't work out at first, so maybe it's not meant for me type of shit. Like, you need to be so ruthless in the pursuit of your desired reality and of your desires. You need to be so determined that there is a reason why you want what you want, and really know your why when you are following through. That is the only way you can build that enough resilience, enough persistence, enough belief that nothing is going to shake you to the point where it, drive you somewhere else. Because side quests are a waste of time. I don't mean like, obviously we all need to have so many things going on in our lives. But when I'm saying side quests in this specific situation, what I truly mean is like, do not get stirred away from your true path just because certain things didn't click right away, or just because, it didn't work out as you expected it. Do not let that get in the way. No one decides your path for you. And I just found myself last year feeling so frustrated because I wasn't sure what I wanted, and I knew I didn't like where I was. That was the only thing that I was like, I'm for fucking sure not happy where I am. But I didn't know where to go next. Like, I didn't know how to move from that place of frustration and stagnancy and just like really confusion, so confused. And you know why I was confused? It was because I kept trying to do the right thing. And what I mean by that is I kept trying to do what I thought the universe wanted me to do. I kept trying to follow the signs or follow the guidance or, ask my tarot cards what the fuck I'm supposed to do. I just kept wondering and questioning and overthinking and overanalyzing, and nothing truly empowered is going to come from that place. So when you find yourself in that energy, the first thing you must do is learn to break the pattern. Because a lot of the times that pattern comes from the fear of doing something different. That pattern comes from the discomfort that your ego is going to have to face, really the ego death that your ego is going to have to face in order to like create a new identity. Because the brave, courageous, powerful version of you is not going to be the version that's going to overthink 100 times before she takes one step. The next level you, the higher self you, the truest you, is not gonna ask their friends and their parents and ChatGPT and everyone else if what they're saying makes sense, if what they want is possible, or they're not second guessing their desires. So they're moving faster. They're taking bolder action. They're not letting the idea of rejection or abandonment or humiliation, or just exposure in general, they're not letting that get in the way of what they know they need to do. And that's why a lot of the times we hold ourselves back, because ultimately we don't want to face that rejection. It's a normal instinctive, desire to not want to be rejected and to not want to be, seen as this or that, or be misinterpreted, be misunderstood. Like, that's a specific pain point for me that I'm still working through, because ultimately that is just gonna happen at any point. Like, when you are living in your truth, not everyone is gonna like that, and that's gonna be a whole discussion for another day, all about like how empowering it can be to let yourself be disliked. That's gonna be for the next episode, maybe next week, we'll see. But you really have to understand that your truest you doesn't get wrapped up in the fucking constant overthinking and the spiraling. Like, she knows how to break out of that loop. It's not that she's a fucking machine and she's a fucking robot or AI, right? Like, of course, like that truest version of you, you're still gonna feel all the things, and maybe some things are not gonna affect you as much, but you're still gonna be human. So of course there's always things that are gonna like trigger some kind of wound, trigger some kind of like internal reaction, trigger something internally, trigger a thought, trigger a doubt, trigger a fear. Normally, that is perfectly normal. No one is asking you to not be that. You don't have to be perfect in order to move forward. You don't have to, be this exemplary human being in order to get what you want. All you need to do is follow your desire and be so bold about it. And I think sometimes we overcomplicate it because we kind of grew up in this society where we connect like what we are doing with, we're either always getting rewarded or punished. Like, if things are meant for us, then the first time we try them, they work out for us. Like, I think we are expecting that instant reward. At least I know I was, and I still am sometimes, trying to like teach myself, like, just because you're not getting this like instant reward thing doesn't mean you're doing the right thing, the wrong thing, right? Like, just because I move forward with this one idea and I don't get like one sale right away, or just because I go on my first date and I don't instantly find my husband, it doesn't mean that what I'm doing is out of alignment. It doesn't mean that what I'm doing is not the right move and the right way to go. And you need to stop letting yourself get wrapped up in that. Oh, is this the right way? Is this the right thing? Is this aligned? Like, stop. Like, seriously, shut the fuck up. Like, say to yourself, shut the fuck up, break the fucking cycle. Overthinking will not get you anywhere. The only thing that you can truly do in that moment is see where that cycle comes up. Because to me, for example, I notice that at night, if I am getting a bit wrapped up in my thoughts, my instinct is to scroll, because deep down I have a reason why I want to scroll. And the reason why I want to scroll is because when I scroll, I get into doubt even more, and it feeds that feeling in me that holds me back. And my ego is always going to choose to hold me back. Because why? Because in order for me to not hold myself back, I need to do shit that's scary. I need to put myself out there. I need to give certain things a go that make me feel like I'm like at mercy with everything, with my own emotions, with my own fears, that I'm like confronting all of those things at once, because I'm saying yes to myself, and it feels like I'm like butt naked in front of like an entire crowd. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it feels to be in your true path, because it's that meaningful to you. It's that important that when you are on it, it feels like you're naked all the time. What a beautiful analogy. Wow. But it genuinely does. It genuinely feels like you're naked all the time. And it's exciting and exhilarating, because deep down you have a kink and you low-key like it, but also you're scared of the humiliation. You're scared that someone is going to throw tomatoes at you. You're scared that you're going to be burned at the stake. Like, whatever fear comes up, it is so ingrained in our being. It's so, sometimes it is instinctive, but a lot of the times it's just like this program that's been living with us since, you know, our childhood, sometimes even in our DNA from our grandparents and our great grandparents, our great gay parents. And so it's so important that you recognize how your fear talks to you, how your fear acts. You need to know yourself deeply enough that you know when that fear kicks in, it's not you, it's fear. That you know when those voices come up and you're feeling so much self-doubt and you're having imposter syndrome, or you're like questioning everything, that's not your highest self. That's not your true self questioning everything. That's your ego. That's your protection mode. You need to know how it reacts. And such a powerful, like, to me, the most powerful investment that I made the last year has been through, you know, coaching and therapy and counseling, because all of that has allowed me to see myself so much more clearly, that when those thoughts kick in, I'm not entertaining them to the point where, oh, this is me. Maybe, yeah, like, what if, you know, like, I'm just like, oh, interesting, my fear's kicking in. You know what I mean? You stop identifying with it, because you understand it's just a coping mechanism. Like, it's just a mechanism of like self-defense, really, not a coping mechanism. It's a self-defense mechanism that's kicking in to protect you, mainly emotionally, from all those things that you're scared of. And when you know how those voices kind of like come to life, when they come to life and why, then when, you know, they approach you at any point in your journey, you know how to like, oh, okay, interesting. Like, you know how to navigate it. You know how to like continue to move forward, because you don't just take those thoughts at face value and it's like, oh yeah, this is what I am, you know? And I think that's the most important thing. Like, you need to know what your fear is and how it talks to you and how it tries to keep you stuck, how it tries to keep you in the same place, how it tries to keep you small, because that's what fear does. Think about when a child is scared. What do? They hide their face, they hide their body, they shrink. Literally, that's what happens when you let fear take over you, is that you shrink. So if you start identifying with fear, who do you become? You become someone who is so small in themselves, because you don't feel empowered, because it feels like life is happening to you and not for you. And the truth is, I'm not even sure it's either or. What I think is, life is a reflection of you. And when things feel stuck, when things feel stagnant, when things feel like, you know, frustrating as fuck, I genuinely think that that's a reflection of you. It's not that life suddenly became harder, and it's not that things suddenly like are taking a turn. I think it's just life reflecting a part of you that you're not looking at, and then it's taking over. And because you keep believing your fears and you keep believing these self-doubt thoughts and all of that, it just creates this storm of emotions that gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and that manifests into your reality. So I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't feel scared or, that you shouldn't have these emotions, but the storm becomes smaller when you're not constantly believing in it, as in, oh, this is the truth of who I am. This is the truth of my reality, is that things don't work out for me, is that, I'm less than, that I'm not enough, that I don't have what it takes, that things don't work out because of this and this and that circumstance. If you're not constantly feeding into that and you recognize, like, this is just old beliefs, this is just like, my mom talking or my dad talking, or this is just that one teacher that told me that one thing, like, but it's not true. Like, if you understand that it's just a sound in your head and not like the ultimate like rule of reality, it starts making you shift. And ultimately what truly matters is the type of action that you're taking, that type of energy that you are embodying, because that's going to translate to the choices that you make. And those are the choices that truly matter. Because see, if you're moving from fear, it's very likely that you're not going to take the same chances. It's very likely that you are going to procrastinate a lot more, that you're going to scroll and distract yourself, that you're going to hang out with people who are also in fear and scarcity, that you are not maybe going to socialize that much, that you're going to hide again, that you are going to feel less inspired. And because you feel less inspired, maybe you're not going to shower, and maybe you're not going to get ready, and maybe you're not going to like try to leave the house or go on that solo date. Like, it's gonna invoke in you a certain type of behavior when you are like allowing yourself, or when you're not noticing that you're starting to embody those fears into like, oh, this is who I am, into an identity, right? And so what you need to do is really, first of all, separate those fears from you. They're just fears. But who you embody, like the energy that you choose to embody, the truth that you choose to embody, that is always a choice that you get to make. Like, absolutely always. And of course, not every day feels easy to do that. And it's okay when we're working through certain emotions that we take our time navigating them, always knowing that ultimately it's our decision. Like, so how can you move into another different energy? How can you support yourself into going back to a more neutral state, for example? What can you truly do that's going to elevate you instead of keeping you stuck? And so that's when you start thinking more intentionally about like, oh, actually, when I do this and this activity, or when I read this type of book, and when I listen to BS podcasts, like, I actually feel much better. Like, I feel more inspired. I feel more motivated. Or when I talk to that friend, or, when I journal for a week, I feel like it's easier for me to like navigate my thoughts and my emotions. Or when I meditate, or when I take a walk every day, like, start doing that thing that makes a difference energetically. And because that energy matters, again, that's the energy that then you start embodying. Like, since the year started, I've been journaling a lot, and that I've noticed already the big impact that has had in the way I'm showing up, in the way I'm recognizing my own thoughts. Or, for example, how I've been scrolling so much less, and I've talked about it in the last episode. I've been scrolling 50% less, which has been such a big but great challenge, and that has really helped me break that loop. And 2 nights ago, I was going into self-doubt a lot because, I'm just trying different things, and I feel like I'm at the like precipice of starting something that already feels so aligned, actually. Not like it's already here, but I can feel it unfold, and the anticipation is like what's gonna happen? How is this gonna happen? How is this gonna look like? Blah, blah, blah. And that's when I start getting into the overthinking, because then I'm trying to control the 10 steps ahead, when in fact the only thing that I really truly need to concern myself with is taking the next one. And so when I get into those patterns of thoughts, what happens is my first reaction, my first instinct is to want to scroll again, because I end up comparing myself, I end up holding back, I end up feeling more just like shitty about myself, and somehow I still want to choose that. My subconscious mind still chooses that feeling over feeling confident in who I am. I'm gonna turn that off, otherwise I will die. And so what happens is that yesterday or 2 days ago, 2 nights ago actually, I was in my bed and I could tell that I wanted to scroll so badly. It was one of those days where I could see already like the night unfold, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna scroll now and I'm gonna feel like shit, and then afterwards I am not gonna feel good and I'm gonna feel anxious going to bed. So I noticed that that's what I wanted to choose, and then I was like, okay, since I want to not feel that way anymore, because I choose consciously that that's not the type of narrative that I want to feed, that's not the type of energy that I want to embody, then I'm going to put my phone away. And I set a 10-minute timer and I journaled and I sat with myself and I didn't scroll. I just did something else, and it helped. And doing that consistently, then, like every day, every time you remember, every time you're truly like, oh, like I'm recognizing this pattern, I'm recognizing this like loop, then choosing to break it is that next step. And there's 1,000 different ways you can do this, obviously. And so you really need to, again, connect with yourself and see what works for you as well. And then be so intentional about your energy. Like regulating every single day might come as a surprise to you, but like it's literally a reality when you start the journey of creating such big change in your life. Like I'm regulating often. I'm taking deep breaths. I am, shaking a little. I am like sitting with myself. I am recognizing when I'm feeling anxious, and instead of just letting it be there or just feeding into that feeling, I'm like sitting with it in the most nurturing way possible. And that's helping me break that cycle and break that loop. And so what I really want to communicate today is that a lot of the times we let those feelings dictate how we show up, and we let those feelings become us. And that's when you really need to understand how to separate yourself from those feelings and from those thoughts. And again, support always helps with that. Like, I think it makes no sense to not have support, to not have a third person's perspective, someone, especially a professional, that can truly like help you out and make you see things that you don't have the knowledge or the capacity to see, because you're so close to your own life that like you just have certain blind spots, and you become less blind as you go on to this journey, but you will always have some blind spots. And so it's beautiful. It's really beautiful when someone gets to highlight that for you and really show you like what's happening, that sometimes you think, oh, this is just me, this is just like how I feel, this is just my reality, and then someone like highlights it, and then you see like, oh, I was seeing shadows all along, like this was just an illusion, like it wasn't the full story, it wasn't the full reality, I was just seeing half of it. And yet there's a whole like depth to this that I wasn't seeing, that I wasn't recognizing, that someone else can recognize for you. So what is up with those sounds? Okay. And so I guess because what I've been seeing a lot of, and I've had a lot of conversations lately, and just in general, also from where I was last year, and knowing what type of year this year can be for you, because it's year one and it feels like such a big opening is coming. And I just feel so inspired after the week I had, that I needed to come here and tell you that the universe doesn't choose for you, and that truly you are the ruler of your destiny, that truly you are the one who gets to choose every single day. You have that choice. And as I was saying back there, a lot of the times you might think, oh, I'm waiting for this sign, or I'm not sure like what's the most aligned decision, I'm not sure like where I'm supposed to go next. Just that simple phrase, I've said that so many times, where I'm supposed to go, what I'm supposed to do. You're not supposed to do shit. You can just follow what you want. And you need to start trusting your desire more than you trust circumstances in your life. You need to trust your desires more than you trust external validation, more than you trust external evidence. like the evidence that goes on in your reality, yes, it is a reflection of you, but it also takes time to catch up to who you're becoming, to the energy, to, like, let's say you start becoming this new person, you implement this new habit, or you make one decision. Like, it doesn't mean that suddenly, like, all your life is going to change in one day. Like, it takes time, because to truly embody, like, a new version of you, or to truly embody that alignment in yourself. And when I say alignment, it's not according to the universe, and it's not according to what you're supposed to do and the signs that you're receiving, and it's according to your desires. Alignment with your desires, that is your compass. What you want rules. Like, what you want is the truth of where you're meant to go. There's nothing, like, it's so clear, and yet we get so confused. And I feel like, especially in the spiritual community, we get so confused by these things because we are waiting for someone to point us the way. We are waiting for guidance. We are waiting to understand, like, what our destiny is. Like, dude, it's your destiny. And it's your desires. And what I finally understood, and this is the perspective that I feel is so important for you to move forward, is that your desire is the destiny itself. Like, your desire is the vision of the life you're meant to live. Like, your desire was, like, I don't want to say God-given, because I don't believe in God necessarily, but, like, it was born with you. It was soul given. I guess that's the best way I can put it, to, like, generalize for anyone, for anyone's, like, beliefs. It was soul given. That is the only thing you were truly brought up with, you know, that, and maybe, like, you know, the family that you were born into, blah, blah. I also believe that's something you choose before coming here, before incarnating. But the point is that besides that, the other thing is your desires. You choose them. They are given to you, by your soul, before you come here, because those are the things that you're meant to bring to life. That's your destiny. And they come from that core, like, that warmth that you get when you know there's something you're so passionate about. There's something that lights you up. There's something that, like, excites you. There's something that, like, you can't stop talking about. There's something that just makes you feel so purposeful. And a lot of the times we push that away because it feels so scary. Again, it feels like you're standing naked in a crowd. And so we push it away because the idea of failing there, the idea of, like, being seen there can feel so terrifying. So we push it away. We just hide and we hide and we hide. Because maybe we feel like it's not right, it's not fair, it's not this, it's not that. Like, for such a long time, I was so scared to admit, like, I want to be a pop star. And just saying that feels weird. It still feels weird, although I've wanted it almost my entire life. But saying it feels weird because I'm like, oh, that's super superficial. Like, why can't I just be a, you know, singer at a restaurant? Like, but no, because there's always been such a big desire in me that I want to sing at, like, big crowds, like, genuinely feel that love. Like, anytime I go to a big concert, like, I don't know, Taylor Swift, or when I went to One Direction at the time, and Harry Styles and Louis and blah blah, like, if there's always that feeling of, I want to be there. Like, I want to switch places with them, you know, like, I want to feel that feeling when people are chanting your songs, like, that feeling. Yes. Standing on the spotlight. Yes. And I've always been so scared about it because, you know, getting attention can sometimes not feel so good if it's the bad attention, right? And I've had a lot of that throughout the years. So I think a part of me really wanted to, like, exclude that desire altogether. And then this year I really, like, started tapping into it again. And I realized, like, this is it. Why do I keep running away? Like, this is my guidance. This is my compass. This is everything for me. And so find your everything. Find that thing that you truly love. And you might say that you're not sure what it is, but I feel like everyone has it. So if you truly don't know, because a lot of the times we think we don't know, but we kind of do, right? But if you truly don't know, then maybe you just haven't explored enough, and maybe you're gonna find something. So let yourself explore, right? But I'm guessing for most of you, you know what it is. You know what it is that truly lights you up. You know, like, just think, and this is the question that I asked myself: if anything was possible, if I could do anything in the world, if there's a dream that I would be so, like, what's that one dream that I would love to make true, that I would regret? That if everything in my life worked out, I would have still thought about that one thing. And to me, that was singing. Because even if my business goes so well, which it will, it is already, but even if I'm super successful in business and I have an incredible family and I'm traveling the world, I know that desire will be fucking me up for my entire life if I don't follow it. I know it will, because I know I'm meant to follow it. We're meant to follow those desires. Those desires are the breadcrumbs. Those desires are the signs that you need. Everything else is just noise. It's just literally noise. It's just you waiting for validation. But if there's something that I'm finally starting to truly understand and learning to embody, is that you need to trust your desires more than you trust anything else. You need to believe in your desires with such conviction that they were sent to you, that they are your mission on this earth, that they are your mission to yourself, that nothing else matters, that the realization of your desires, the following those desires, is what you are here to do. That because you have those desires, it inherently means that they are meant to come to life. You know, your desires are the calling of your future. You know, it's like a message from your future, like, this is it, like, this is what's possible. And when you follow that desire, you close the gap between where you are right now and that future version of you more and more every single day, until it becomes reality, until you've repeated that enough that you have that breakthrough, you know? And that breakthrough becomes bigger and bigger. And it just takes looking at, and to me, those are such big inspirations. But a lot of, like, you know, the stars in Hollywood or pop girlies, for example, like, I'm currently obsessed with Zara Larsson. And I mean, she's been around for fucking ever. Like, I've loved her songs for fucking ever. And now she's finally having that, like, major breakthrough where she is getting recognized more as who she truly wants to be recognized at, because she's always had that desire of being in the spotlight. And it was so beautiful because I watched her documentary, and that really was what awakened this again in me. It was like, this is what I feel like. But when I think about it, and when I think about that desire, I always think it's superficial, and I kind of like feel guilty or ashamed or too scared to even go there. But just seeing her embody that desire and being like, that's what I want, it just made me realize, like, that's what I want too, dude. Like, I've always wanted it. And it took her more than a decade to actually break through to the point where she's at. And I'm sure she still wants to continue to grow. But she kept following her desire. And I just kept thinking, you know, imagine that because she didn't have that breakthrough in the first year, that she wouldn't have come up with the second album and the third album and the third. Like, she did, I don't know, almost 5 albums or something. Like, every year since I don't know when, she's been creating music. She's been going on concerts. She kept going. She kept trusting that desire more than anything else. And eventually she had the breakthrough. Or Sabrina Carpenter, for example, which is another example that I love. I mean, she's been obviously like a Disney star for a long time, and it's not like she was unknown, but she did take a lot to like separate her identity now from that Disney, you know, like Disney teenage years era. But she kept going, and she had like 4 different albums before her breakthrough as well. It takes time. It takes time. Because you're literally rebuilding your identity. And that is not a superficial shift. Let me tell you something. That takes refinement, that takes a lot of repetition, that takes so much persistence. But none of that matters. You don't have to think about like building a new identity. All you have to think about is, how can I follow my desires this week, this day? You know, where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? Not where am I supposed to go? What I'm supposed to do? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Do you want to make more money? Okay, how can you make more money? Are you not sure? Try different things. Start researching. Do this, do that. Sell this thing, sell that thing. It doesn't work out. Well, if it feels good to you, if it feels like something that you would like to make money in, keep doing it. Keep refining it, because then that repetition isn't just in vain. Like, you're learning with that experience. Like, growth is learned experience, right? That's why Zara became who she is now. Like, you can totally see that her album right now is a culmination of all the things that she gathered from all the years that she did her own music, and she finally found her sound. But that took experimenting, just like with Sabrina. It also takes a big team, obviously, for them. I'm not suggesting that, I'm not suggesting otherwise, but the team cannot do shit if they don't know who they want to be, and if they don't have a clear direction, if they're not fully tuned in. And that takes time. Just like the Girls in Growth didn't exist until last year, because I wasn't sure what I wanted this to be. But the vision is becoming so much more clear every day that goes by. And sometimes do I still have doubt? Yes. But then I remember the desire of what I want to build, which is a whole fucking world of empowerment for women. It's truly like a fucking movement. I want to build something that's bigger than a brand, that's bigger than the podcast, that's bigger than just an Instagram page. I want to build something where people know what the fuck Girls in Growth is, Like, I know that's what I want. And I've always felt scared of like tapping into that desire, because I'm like, I have 400 followers on Instagram. What the fuck are you saying? You know what I mean? It's like, who gives a fuck? This is what I want. Okay, so how can I start building towards it? How can I start shifting? And to me, that's been, okay, like, I want to make money. Okay, I want to do this and do that. Okay, like, I want to build more audience in my podcast. Like, you just take one step at a time. And is it always going to be a clear path? A lot of the times, no, but you don't have to wait for clarity. And that's also what I'm trying to get at. You don't have to wait for a sign. You don't have to wait for clarity. You don't have to wait for nothing and no one in order to take that first step, because a lot of the times you don't have clarity until you do. Like, until you take that first step, you're not going to have clarity. Because again, clarity is also learned experience a lot of the times. It's also like you living through something and then realizing, oh, this is not what I want and this is what I want. Like, why do you think I was in a shitty ass relationship? It took clarity to know what type of partnership I want now. If I had not had the like worst relationship of my life, and also then a kind of good relationship afterwards, or should I say situationship, but those experiences helped me define and like refine what I truly want. So sometimes that's why that contrast exists, especially in the beginning of our lives, like through our adolescence and childhood. Like, we have so many contrasting experiences. Like, we feel what it's like to have freedom and to have like peace and to have fun and creativity, but we also feel the contrast of that. We know, a lot of us know what it's like to have a toxic or unfulfilling relationship or unfulfilling job, but then we've also found things that we're really passionate about. And so the more you go through life with that lens, with like that mindset of everything is helping me get closer to that thing, and I'm going to use everything as a lesson, as a learned experience. Like, I am going to use this as fuel to the life that I want to build, then really nothing is standing in your way, because the only thing that ever is you. And last episode we talked about how to stop getting in your own way. So if you feel like that's a loop you're getting stuck in, because I really understand that, then definitely go check it out. Like, save the episode, download it so that you can hear it any other time, because it really is a very like, it's a good episode to start with if you're feeling and recognizing that type of pattern in your life. But ultimately, like, you just need to understand that that clarity isn't given to you. It's created by life. You know, and some moments are going to feel foggy again after you had the most clarity because there's deeper truths underneath that maybe you haven't recognized. Because when you start settling into like a new level of you, a new era of your life, suddenly there's other desires that come through. Suddenly there's like alignment changes throughout time as well, because you are changing. Because as you take that next step and as you start embodying this next version of yourself, then there's like an invitation for the next to come through, because we are constantly growing, we are constantly evolving, because we are constantly in the journey of closing the gap between who we are right now and where we want to be, and like that desire embodied, that desired manifested. But life, and I don't want you to get the impression that life is about just living for your goals and living for no, because life becomes so much more fulfilling just by the fact that you are living in alignment with those desires, that you are like on your journey to follow them, because you know that you're doing what you're doing is right. Like, would I like to sing on a big fucking stage right the fuck now, like have an album, like have the fame go to Jimmy Fallon? Like, yes, oh yes, I would. I don't even know that I would be ready. I mean, imagine me, no PR experience, I cannot imagine. But the point is, I would love to get to that point today, tomorrow. Just like, let me release my first song, let me go viral, let me like sing with Harry Styles, you know what I mean? Sure. But it takes time, right? Does that mean that the fact that last week or this weekend, I went to an open mic and I sang my song for the first time, and I'm like collaborating with the girl and we're doing some concerts together. I'm just like doing backup vocals for her, but she also gave me the opportunity to open up for her. Although I just have one song that it's literally barely produced, produced enough that I can sing it. Like, you know, I already feel so alive because I know I am standing in that purpose, because I am following that desire for the first time in such a long time. Just the same with my business. Like, is that like, of course there's so much more vision beyond where I am right now, but it's like, I know I'm following that desire by doing this podcast today, by selling that thing tomorrow, by reaching out to this brand or to this collaboration person. And a lot of the times those things don't work out. You know, I reached out to so many brands that you guys have no idea. Like, I've reached out to like dozens of brands already, like since last year. And I want to reach out to so many more, but most of them did not reply. And the ones that did basically rejected me. And that's okay. Well, they didn't reject me, but my point is, you know, they rejected that proposal, I guess. And I could have let that be the reason why, like maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe I'm wrong about this feeling. Maybe I'm wrong about what I want. Maybe this is not it. Maybe this is not aligned. Maybe this is not what I'm supposed to do. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop second guessing your desire just because it doesn't work out at first, at second, at third. Like, stop it. Because your desire is the only truth that matters. It truly fucking is. Your desire is your soul's expression. It's just, there's nothing more true than that. And just because it takes a little, just because it's not perfect, it doesn't mean that you are on the wrong path. But a lot of the times, we are seeking for that validation so much because we're scared of making the wrong move, because we're scared of being punished somehow by the universe, of like hitting another lesson, or of hitting like, I don't think the universe sends us lessons. I used to believe that, but I don't think so. I think the universe just shows us who we are being, and then we get to learn a lesson or not so that we can move forward. But it's not a lesson that the universe is sending us. The universe is sending us. The universe is just a mirror, and I think that has helped me move through life. Because if something's happening that I'm not really pleased with, instead of thinking, how is this a lesson? What is the universe trying to tell me? I actually have been asking myself, why am I choosing this? Is it a very stingy type of question to ask yourself? Because it takes accountability to be able to ask yourself, like, why am I choosing this? Why am I choosing to stay stuck here? Why am I choosing to feel frustrated in this area of my life? Or why am I choosing to entertain this guy? Why am I choosing to stay upset over the fact that this person is not answering my text? And you'll see a lot of the times it's like, oh, it's because like if I'm upset about this, actually like don't have to deal with this and this other thing in my life. Or if I'm upset about this, I feel like I'm right, and maybe that the reason why they rejected me or they're abandoning me, maybe it's not about me, because deep down I'm scared of facing the fact that maybe I'm just not good enough, you know, like all those sorts of things. But it's always self-serving. That's what I've been finding with this new book that I'm reading, that again I am going to talk about it either next week or 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, like I need to see how long I take to read the book, but a lot of it is stemming from stemming from this book. But I think that has been really helping me. Like when I was starting to scroll and starting to second guess myself and my business a lot, I was like, why am I choosing to overthink my business right now? Like, why am I choosing to? And a lot of the times it's just, again, that response of like trying to hold yourself back so that you don't have to take that step, so that you don't have to take the leap, so that you don't have to face your fears and that possible like rejection. But when you understand that rejection is, first of all, redirection, it's protection, but it's also just life. You know, people get rejected all the time, and it has nothing to do with your value. It has nothing to do with your worth. It's just life. And you just have to keep trusting your vision. And sometimes you don't even know why certain things didn't work out until you're like way ahead and you finally start kind of connecting the dots, and you're like, oh, if this had worked out, I wouldn't have come here to this place, experienced this thing, met this person, like etc. You know? You don't know, but it doesn't matter, because I'm not suggesting that the universe is not trying to help you sometimes. I do think that the universe tries to help you. And sometimes it does give you signs, and sometimes tries to point out the way. But I do think that even those signs, like I'm finding that they are reflections of where you are. Like lately I've been seeing a lot of 111, 1111, things like that. I think that's just actually a reflection of how I'm feeling right now. And when I'm feeling different, or I'm feeling like something's brewing inside of me but I'm pushing it away, suddenly I start seeing 555. Like, is it really the universe sending me a message, or is it just me sending a message to myself? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't have the answer for you there, because I'm a very open spiritual person. Like, I don't have a specific belief about these things. Honestly, I would rather just keep it open than formulating a specific. I've believed in a lot of things, but at the end of the day, I don't know. But what I do understand is that it will always reflect to you who you are being. And if you want your life to change, if you want your circumstances to change, it's about you changing yourself. You don't just have to change how you think, because I don't believe you have to change how you think overnight. I don't believe you have to change your thoughts like, oh my God, I'm only thinking positive all the time. But definitely there is a shift that needs to happen in terms of like where you put your attention, what type of habits you're like, you know, feeding, like what you are feeding yourself in so many levels. That matters, yes. But the repetition, I'd say, matters the most, because that's what's really gonna like solidify that new identity that you have. So there's so much that sometimes we get wrapped around, and we're trying to understand how the universe works, how this law works, how that law works. But if you were to only just fucking trust those desires and just move with those, like, where is that calling you next? And if you don't know, can you just fuck around and find out? Like my best friend always says, like, can you just fuck around and find out? Let yourself, you know, just play around, just like explore. Life is an exploration as well. Like, you learn as you go. And so if you're not going, if you're staying home hidden away in a cave, waiting for life to happen, waiting for opportunities to reach you when you are completely fucking unreachable. Besides the fact that you are on do not disturb mode, you have airplane mode on, you have completely disconnected your phone, you have turned it off, you have broken the motherfucker, like you are completely, unreachable. Of course those things can't reach you. And so if you want to start seeing life open up, you have to open up. You have to allow yourself to open your heart, to open to that vulnerability, to open to your desires, to say yes to life. Like, that's what truly life is about, because then you stop living for this like idealized future of what your life gets to look like, because you are living in your future right the fuck now, because you are already saying yes to those desires in whatever form they come right now. But that yes, that present moment yes of like, it doesn't fucking matter if it's perfect, it doesn't fucking matter if it's everything, like I'm saying yes right now as it is, where I am, with the resources that I have, with the opportunities that I have, with who I am right now, because I don't have to be perfect, I don't have to be enough, I don't have to be this fixed person, I don't have to think 100% positive, I don't have to have a partner or this person or that situation or this circumstance, I don't have to have it all figured out. I just take that step. There's no perfect reality where suddenly you are worthy of the things that you want. You are already worthy. It's a choice though, and you are not choosing it. And because you're not choosing it because of that, because somehow we were made to believe that we can only choose our desires, or that our desires choose us, which is not really the case. Like, we choose them, not them choose us. They've already chosen us. You know what I mean? They already chose us. The fact that we have those desires means that they've chosen us already. So really what's happening is that you haven't chosen them yet, because we were made to believe that we needed to be a certain way, that we needed to act a certain way. And I think sometimes spirituality can get toxic in that sense, because it makes you feel like you need to be this, again, perfect human being to like get what you want. And I don't think that's the case. I think you become what you want when you start choosing those desires. I think that mindset comes to life and like you shift just by who you choose to be and how you choose to do things. Like going to that first open mic that I went to in 2025, like I think it was October or November 2025, like that shifted me. Just me taking that step, just me saying yes to that desire, it opened up a portal that I would have never expected. And then I was like, oh my God, I need to do more of this. I could have let that die there though. I could have said like, you know what, yeah, but like I don't have that much time and I'm tired and blah blah, and I don't have any other songs, like I don't want to repeat the same songs, and oh, what if I sing and like I fuck up, like because it went so well the first time, but what if it doesn't go? Like I could have fed into that, because those were there, like those feelings, those fears, those like that inner conversation that was there. But last week or this weekend I went, there was like 4 people there, it was super small, and yet I did it. And now I know, like, I want to keep doing it, and I'm going to keep saying yes to it. And because I went to that first open mic, I've already met some new friends. I met a girl who then invited me to play with her, to sing with her, and go to her concerts. Now I'm opening up for her. Maybe one day we're going to collab together. Maybe through her I meet some other people, because I said yes to that desire. And just you saying yes is you already embodying a certain level of confidence and determination that in repetition, it is already shifting who you are and who you believe yourself to be. Because you know who you are at your core, you're a fucking badass, okay? You are someone with big desires and big dreams for a fucking reason. And you are great. You are amazing. You are a star, in whatever way that looks like for you. Maybe you're a doctor. It doesn't mean that you're not a fucking star. You get to shine in whatever way that feels true to you. And you don't have to try to figure out the entire path. How can you do that this week? How can you shine a bit more? How can you open up a bit more? How can you express that aliveness a bit more this week? Do not think so much through that it stops you in your tracks from taking that first step. Just start today. I know that it can feel so scary to choose those desires and to say yes. And I'm by no means perfect, okay? Like I still have so many moments like constantly, daily, okay, I mean daily, where I have those voices come up, and I'm still learning to discern them from the truth, because they can get so loud, and then they also trigger emotions, and then it creates a sensation in your body, and it makes it feel like the truth. It makes it feel like the ultimate reality. But then, like, that's why that self-awareness, that's why that, like, perspective is so important, that I always talk about. And so, I want to say, right. And so that's the last message that I have here. Like, you just need to take the leap sometimes, all the times, as many times as you can. And life starts moving differently. Life truly starts moving differently. Sometimes you have to do things in a very unconventional way too. Like, sometimes you just have to do it in whatever way you can find it right now. Because you saying yes to that desire, like, it's going to create a new road, and it's going to meet you in a different way. Like, the more you choose it, the more it becomes open for it to come to you in ways that maybe you would have never expected, you know? And sometimes you need to stop waiting for those perfect, well, not sometimes, you just need to stop waiting for those perfect circumstances, for what you thought had to be, how you thought it had to happen, because you don't know what's best for you, not to that extent. We don't need to know truly. All you need to know is that you have that fucking desire for a fucking reason, and you get to follow it. It's already there. So how can you follow it, like, in the best way right now? Like, how can you stay the truest to yourself, knowing that you are those desires, that who you truly are is the embodiment of those desires in motion, right? And I just feel like, yeah, we really do wait for that perfect scenario, for that idealized reality. Just like I used to think that the only way I was going to be happy was if I found the love of my life. But I was like, how can I feel in love right now? How can I feel nurtured right now? And I started feeling, that was a desire, actually. I wanted to feel at home with myself, and I wanted to love myself, and I wanted to feel confident with myself. And I used to put all of that responsibility upon a guy. But then I started thinking, like, okay, knowing that I don't want to settle, and I want to find the right person for me. I want to find someone who's truly aligned with what I want. But knowing I want to feel good in the meantime, how can I feel good in the meantime? That was a desire. I want to feel good single, if that's what I'm going to be right now. And choosing that desire and taking steps towards it, that's what led me to, start the podcast and have business ideas and start these and that hobby and travel to this and this, everything shifted because I followed that desire. It wasn't the universe telling me, like, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. I do believe that the universe can send you breadcrumbs, and I do believe that the universe can send you messengers as well, through people, through certain situations, through, like, your literal spirit guides. But ultimately, your ultimate guide is that desire. And so that should be the thing you are devoted to, not someone else's word, not someone else's opinion, not someone else's perspective of your life, not even your therapist, not even your counselor. Like, you have to know you better than anyone. They might be able to see your blind spots, but only you can truly tap into your heart. Only you can truly tap into the essence of who you are. And sometimes that's not something you can even explain. So how would other people see it if you can barely see it yourself? Like, if you can barely, like, describe it, put it into words, like, no, it's something you tap into. It's something you feel. It's something, like, you just know. It's something you know, and it's something you remember. And so there's just no one that's going to have that discernment. And I'm not suggesting that it's always irrelevant to hear other people's perspectives or advice or blah, blah, but you need to know when to get it. And that counts for the universe as well. You need to know when the universe is sending you signs, sure, but you also need to know that sometimes if it's not coming through, it's for a reason. Maybe you don't need a sign. Maybe you just need to listen to yourself. Maybe that's really all you need. And I believe more and more that is what I need. And I love receiving 111 and 1111 almost every day since the year started. I mean, it feels great. But then my question is, if I wasn't receiving that, could I still feel the same enthusiasm around my desires and around the life that I'm creating for myself? If I have a week where I have less views, can I still feel excited and inspired about the business that I'm creating and about the way that I'm showing up? Because if I only feel excited when good things happen, if I only feel excited when I'm getting rewarded, what does that mean? That means I have no trust and no true belief behind how I'm choosing to live my life. That means that all my sense of value, the self-belief, my sense of like inspiration is coming from something that, changes, something that's not a constant. But the only thing that I should be truly devoted to, truly like believe in, is just the desire itself, that I want to make this happen. And nothing should be more important than that. And if I release my first song and it only has 3 monthly listeners, that shouldn't be dissuasive of me doing the thing. Because the desire, and that's really why I want to send this message, because this is I'm always reflecting to you the things that I'm also like learning and embodying and just integrating, obviously. And so to me right now, I feel like that's the mission I'm on. It's the mission of, I want to believe my desire and trust it and anchor into it more than I let anything else dictate how I should feel about it. The desire itself is how I feel. And so how can you like anchor into that desire? How can you embody it? How can you feel it in your mind and in your body? And how can you just like tap into it more and more so that like that aliveness is within you for a reason, and that it is no coincidence, that it's your destiny. And just get excited about all the possibilities of what you get to create with this desire as it is right now. Like, because even the first step feels exciting when you are following that desire. Even the first step feels exhilarating when you know you are doing what you are meant to do. And maybe it's not in this perfect way that you've imagined it, but that's the ego. That's the ego. That's not you. Because the true you knows that that life happens in the most unpredictable, surprising of ways. And that's how it's meant to be, because it's who you become in the process that can also hold that desire fully. So don't think too much about it. Just follow that instinct and that feeling and that excitement. And that's something that we learn through time, of course. But do not let yourself get wrapped up in this idea that you need to wait for the universe to go. You always go first. And that's truly the message that I want to give you today. You always go first. The universe is always reflecting you. So if you're waiting for the universe is waiting for you, and then shit doesn't happen. You go first. You take the leap. You say yes. You make the step. You make that choice. And then things start unfolding. Things don't unfold if you don't start unwrapping it, If you don't take the first step, how can you see the second one? Like, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Stop waiting. The universe is not the solution to your problems. You are. Always. The universe doesn't have a secret answer, a magic wand. Bibbidi bobbidi boo, here's how I'm gonna unfuck you. No. You unfuck yourself, Like, I know we are kinky bitches, okay? And we like fucking ourselves. But you get to unfuck yourself when necessary, girly. Okay, I think that's it. I think if I talk more... Oh my god, this has been a big episode. It's been a while. I was feeling it. I already knew, I'm gonna talk a lot. This is gonna be a fucking download. Let me tell you something, girl, because I could barely sleep. I just kept thinking about what I wanted to say for today, and I had so many ideas. And then before sitting down, my brain was completely blank, and I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to say? But I just knew it. I just knew it. I just had that feeling. And by the way, I want to tell you that, you know, there's a lot of things coming up for the Girls in Growth world. I have been changing the Patreon a little, and we added a group chat to the Patreon where you can basically connect with other girlies, you know, just make new friends. Also, we are going to have a Q&A box there, and I'm going to start, you know, replying to those questions here on the podcast, but only you get the opportunity to ask those questions. And we can always discuss the podcast that we had, set a new challenge based on that podcast episode, and just really like keep the discussion, keep the conversation alive, like keep that energy flowing so that it's easier for you to follow through. And obviously with the materials that you already get inside the Patreon, like it really feels like a 360 type of support where you can really like dive into your own journey and see what type of tools serve you best, see what type of, you know, support you need the most, and then also have the community side of it. So it really makes you feel like you are a part of the Girls in Growth, because you are, you know. And I feel so appreciative of all your support, and this is kind of my way of hopefully like paying you back with some of that love and just making you feel more included in this journey, because I do feel like you are, but I want you to like be a more active participant in it, and just ask your questions and be there, and just have fun together, walking this journey together, and really like growing a ton, because we deserve it. We deserve to live our best lives. So go check it out. I'm still not promoting it anywhere else. You are going to be the first to know, because right now I'm focused on promoting something else on my Instagram stories. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a little tease information. I'm going to leave the description in the link below. I love you, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.